The entire time, I was just hoping none of these branches would snap and send me into the crocodile water below. Welcome to Pier Village. Home to many people, this area has one of the most unique biomes. Half of the year, the residents live next to a river. The other half of the year, the residents are living in one of the biggest lakes in Asia with a depth of about 33 feet. And I thought shoveling snow was difficult. With this drastic change over the year, the locals face unique challenges and have even more unique solutions. Hi, buddy. Like hanging their dead from trees. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The main source of food and income for the locals is fishing.
Most of the men go out fishing. They only focus on fishing, and they probably fish both day and night.
But depending on the water level, it can make it easier or more difficult to catch the fish.
It's not the right time of fishing. They can only catch some really small fish, just like one you see here. And then the lady will do something to support the family at home. They probably sell something.
What are those bundles of sticks for?
Yeah, we have many different ways. For the smaller one, but at some point people can make something like a small house, temporary house from it. But they use a lot of this for the fishing trap.
Now we're off to a remote village located miles inside of the lake itself. Yes, they live in the middle of the lake. Looking on Google Maps, it says we're on land, but clearly, we are not. It just shows how flooded this area is. The patches of green that you see aren't land. This is an invasive species of plant that floats in the water in giant pads. Over the years, it's slowly started to take over the lake, but the locals have a very interesting solution to this problem. After about a 30-minute boat ride, we arrived to the Metre village. I pronounced that the best that I could, which is literally floating. The houses are built on tires, barrels, and many other buoyant objects just to keep them afloat. Everyone gets around by canoe, or if you're lucky, a small motorboat. This first village has one very small artificial island. It holds the church for everyone in the area, but this is the only solid piece of land for miles. One thing that you may notice is a lot of these boxes next to the houses.
That's the crocodile cage. They keep the crocodile for selling. Right. So these people here, they raise the crocodile and sell to the other people in town.
Crocodiles aside, they're also used to farm fish. And as far as I could see, they have one grocery store. And the locals like Red Bull apparently. Now we're back on the open water. We have another half-hour ride to an even more remote village. With the tips of trees sticking out of the water, you can just imagine how deep it is. We've arrived to the second village, even farther in the lake, called Prek Toal. The thing that surprised me was just how many people live out here. There are an estimated 10,000 people in this one village, and this is their everyday life. Canoeing from church, to the grocery store, to the gas stations, with hardly any solid land for miles. Our first stop in the village is the Environmental Research Office. But to get there, we have to cross this bridge. Walking across the bridge, I just kept hoping that I would not fall into the water. Not only because I'd get wet, but also because of the crocodiles. I was told that they're rare since they've been hunted to near extinction, except for the ones that are farmed. But I did not want to take my chances. So I guess these branches are also used to make bridges.
Yeah.
This bridge is actually rebuilt every few months depending on the water level at the time.
And it's there now, it's gonna be removed in the next month or something.
About every 10 years or so, Cambodia receives more rain than usual, and it can cause a dramatic increase in the water level.
It was up here in 2011.
The water level comes from all the way down there up to here.
Yeah.
Wow. If you listen closely, you can hear a song being played in the distance over a loudspeaker.
That's the the funeral music.
In the past, the locals had a unique way of disposing the deceased, with there being a lack of solid ground to bury them.
20 plus years ago, they just wrap the body and hang on the tree. And they probably wait until everything comes off, and then they collect the bone for the funerals. And sometimes they can even set fish or eel trap below where they hang the dead when the body comes off. And that's attract some catfish or eels. It's very different nowadays. They have the funeral and they cremate the body.
A traditional drink for the locals is venomous snake-infused whiskey.
They put the snake, kind of a very poisonous snake, in the very strong rice whiskey for a little while before drink. It's what they believe that it is something that make you strong. Or they love eating snake a lot because it is kind of the energy meat as well. Or they use that to feed the animals in the cage, like the crocodile.
Hi, buddy. Have to squeeze past you really quick. What's up? Oh, you're so sweet. After your stop at the center, you get on a way smaller boat that'll take you out to the Wildlife Preserve. It's about another half-hour boat ride. Good thing we have these, but hopefully they do not come in handy.
Mind your head, mind your head.
Woo. This is the lookout. It's based on the top of a single but very tall tree that hasn't been fully submerged by the water. It's used to observe the local wildlife, mainly birds, because there are dozens of unique species that call the Tonle Sap Lake their home. Now, these guys at the base of the watchtower live here most of the time just to keep watch, but they're not always here. As you can see, they have a small camp set up. I wasn't fully aware of what to expect, but just like in other parts of Cambodia, you can tell that this was built with creativity and what was had on hand, which I find really cool. Okay. The entire time I was just hoping none of these branches would snap and send me into the crocodile water below. Whew. Once I got to the top, I was quite impressed with the setup. Wow. This is like the coolest treehouse ever, except it's not a treehouse, it's a lookout. But it definitely could be one. Let me show you guys around. Got a bunch of supplies. Looks like a pillow. And this is where we climbed up from right here. The local people aren't the only ones living on the lake that have to adapt to the ever-changing environment. There are some animals out here that use a single tree as their home when the water level is high. In the tree, is that a nest? That brown?
Oh, that's the nest, but it's from the ant's nest.
Oh, because they can't build on the ground,
Yeah.
I guess. You can even see squirrels that live in a single tree. The only way to another tree is by swimming, which they don't particularly enjoy. But the luckiest of the animals would be the birds, simply because they can fly from tree to tree.
My name is Jane Supal, and Naran is my nickname.
He works for the Cambodian Bird Guide Association, which is the group that took us on this tour in the first place.
We are the only Cambodian non-profit organization that work for wildlife conservation by providing tour. Big mission is to support the livelihood of the people who live in protected area. We are trying to give them a different way of living so that they don't really need to go into the jungle, for eating, so that they can work for us. We train them how to cook. We train them how to guide.
This is important because with the rapid changing water level, it makes it more difficult to fish, which drastically affects the locals' income.
If I would say a number around $10-15.
Per day.
Yeah, per day.
Okay.
They sell to people in Siem Reap.
Okay.
Yeah. And then in the exchange, they will have to bring something in. Vegetable is expensive in the floating village because they cannot grow anything. It is a long way to bring everything in and out.
It's very long.
Yeah.
Just to put it into perspective, it took an hour ride on a motorboat just to get to Prek Toal. Now imagine taking that same route but on a canoe that you have to paddle yourself. Some people do have small motorboats, but many don't.
I really want the people to see the real value that of the nature. That's the real world that people really need to fight for.
I guess we know where the squirrel gets his food. Welcome back to Prek Toal. We've made it to one of the only restaurants for miles. They open whenever tourists come by and stay closed most of the day. Because of this, you'll need to be a little bit patient because nothing is prepared. They have to bring all of their ingredients from their home and then make everything basically from scratch. Our food took about an hour and a half, but it's worth the wait.
Hi.
In the meantime, you can use the bathroom that the restaurant provides, since you've been probably holding it for the past few hours. The first thing you probably notice is that the toilet is missing a handle. So, how exactly are you gonna flush? Well, that's where this pail comes in handy. You scoop a little bit of water, flush it into the toilet, and your business goes down the drain. I think into the lake, but I'm not sure. After you're done using the bathroom, I highly suggest heading over to the connecting store, where they sell handmade baskets, purses, floor mats, and just all kinds of different things. But they're not made out of just any other material. As I mentioned, there are these large patches of green all over the lake.
This is the water hyacinth. It's not a native species plant and they grow very fast. But in this community, they find some use of it so that they cut the stalk part of it and then they dry them. They just leave them to dry and it takes some time, like 2 weeks time. And then they weave them to make things like here. We have boxes, we have bag, hat, and floor mat, and table mats and stuff like that. It's all made of the water hyacinth.
Oh, and here is the school for the village. Since it's located on the outskirts of the village, I would imagine it's not a very easy task trying to get to school in the morning. But now the food is ready. We have rice, cilantro, cabbage, and fish soup, which was really good, stir-fried mixed veggies, and a locally caught fish. Everything was delicious, especially after a long day in the sun.
Very good.
And just when I thought the trip was over and we were heading back to Pier Village, we had to stop at a gas station to get fuel for the boat. And I was asked a very exciting question.
Yes, I do want to see the crocodiles in the cage. I can get out? Awesome.
This gas station happens to also be a farm that raises crocodiles and other animals. So these are the crocodile cages. I'm kind of nervous to go up because I would hate to fall in. Do you just walk up?
Yeah.
Okay. See some crocodiles. Ooh. Oh. I don't know what I was expecting, but they're just laying there.
What do they feed them? Fish?
Yeah, fish. Sometimes, sometimes the water snake, and even sometimes they get some crab.
Oh, cool, and a farm.
Yeah.
Look at that. Huh. Oh, wow, that's a lot of fish. I'm not gonna fall in, but I need to get a close shot. Hi. Oh, thank you.
And that, my friends, is the end of this video.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and please come to Cambodia so that you can see things in person.
Once again, this entire video was made possible with the tours that the Cambodian Bird Guide Association offers. If you'd like to do this exact same route, you can just by visiting their website and setting up a trip for yourself. But if you do decide to travel, remember, be smart, be safe, and always dream big. This is gonna be like my new little catchphrase at the end of videos. I might tweak it over time. But quickly, before I go, I would just like to say a big thank you to everyone who supports the channel on Patreon. Thank you guys so very much. I greatly appreciate it. Because of you, I'm able to continue making content and show you all of the beautiful places that the world has to offer. So thank you guys so very much. I greatly appreciate it. And an extra special thank you goes to Eric Fast, Michael Posh, Scott Sweaters, and Britt Saunders. Once again, thank you guys so very much. I greatly appreciate it. If you'd like to join, all the information is in the description, along with other ways that you can support the channel. But I think that that's all that I have to say. Peace out. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye. And long term. Wait. Look at that. Where? Oh. Can you paint it? Oh. There was a squirrel. We just missed it. It's crazy that there are squirrels that live out here.